Yeah, I feel like Triple G is a really strong fighter. The only reason I didn't like his last fight is because he looked gassed, but you think about it, he probably left the week of, going all the way to Japan. That fucks you up, different time zones, you know what I mean? So, yeah, the elevation too. I think that's why he looked bad, but I think it's kind of a good. People think he's washed up, so I feel like, he's going to look amazing this fight. It's going to be a good fight. I love both fights, 1 and 2, so I'm definitely going to be watching 3 too.
I think Canelo's going to dominate him. The second time they fought, you saw Canelo was able to, even push a guy back, making a fighter that always goes forward, fight backwards. So I think that Canelo wins the fight definitely.
How does it play out? Does it play out like the second fight?
I don't know. I think Canelo has more of opportunity to really, try to go out there and try to even get the stoppage. But I definitely think that Canelo's going to win the fight.
They've had 2 fights that were close. The second one, some people felt it was a draw, the second one. Given that they both have bad blood, they don't really like each other, do you think one or the other is going to come in with be more aggressive?
I think that Canelo's going to come out and be more aggressive.
Yeah.
And push him back. And just like he did the second fight. The second fight he pushed him back and he won that fight. So, I think that's going to be the same game plan. And like I said, fighters that go forward, that always go forward, don't like to go backward.
Is there any scenario that you see that Golovkin knocks him out?
No, I never seen Canelo hurt but one time in his career against Matthew Hatton. So other than that, I've never seen Canelo hurt.
Wow. Because Golovkin's a big puncher, he's coming forward. Canelo said he knows he has to take risks, and he knows that there could be a punch that he has to take in order to come forward and land his punches on Golovkin.
Yeah, but he always takes calculated risks. When have you seen, Canelo look sloppy?
Very true, very true. So, with stoppage, unanimous decision victory?
I think unanimous decision.
Yeah? Do you think it's like a Morales-Barrera type of a fight?
I don't know about being a Morales-Barrera type fight, but I think that Canelo's gonna dominate.
I got Canelo, bro. I got Canelo. I just think, and I got Canelo by stoppage. I just feel like, man, Triple G is, it's just because he's older and Canelo is the improved fighter. Canelo is better. Skill-wise, Canelo is better, but I just feel like, and then Triple G is, like 40 years old, 41 years old. Canelo is 30, 33 or something like that. So I just got Canelo. I could be wrong, but that's what I feel.
You got to deal with the now. And while I was feeling like he's gotten older, I don't see him moving the same, and all those types of things, I'm looking at it now as if Triple G's had a lot of time to download a lot of data, and especially with Canelo's last performance, there's even more data for you to download and be prepared to do some different things in the ring. Obviously, it's up to Triple G to make adjustments and do something different, but I was under the impression that those things that I just said, he's too old, so on and so forth, but I'm like, he's rested. He's had time. He's fresh. Or at least that's what I would believe about a guy like Triple G at this point. So I'm actually bought back into this, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Do you expect it to be like the other fights, or do you think it'll be like it starts off good and then it's Canelo really,
I think it's gonna be really interesting. Yeah. Because if you think about it, the momentum that Canelo has, even in his last defeat, I don't think his defeat has made him feel like he's not who he is. And so I think that he's really prepared to go in the ring and show the world and also Triple G who he is. What does that mean? Stalk, seek and destroy. Triple G ain't going away quietly. It's going to be exciting. And so, it's going to be exciting. I don't know which way it's going to go.
Do you think he has to get a knockout, Gennady, to win this? Because, the first fight, many felt he won, he didn't get it. Second fight, it was close, and they didn't give it to him.
But let's be honest. I don't think he can move the way he used to. And when I say used to, I'm talking 2010, 2012. Triple G could move and could box. can't do that anymore. What does that mean? More than likely, you can't outbox Canelo. So it's going to become that bang him out game that it was once before. He just has to be smarter about it. Pick his points where he wants to really, dig deep. And does that lead to a knockout for him? It's possible. Do I think it's only way he can win is by a knockout? Awesome. Probably. Yeah, probably. It's hard to believe you can outbang Canelo, Think about it. Bebo didn't beat Canelo by outbanging him. He outboxed him and then he picked his spots. So it's gotta be that kind of combination. And I don't know if Triple G can do that.
This dude is about legacy, man. He's chasing legacy. He wants to be, what do you call that? Mexico's greatest? Mexico's greatest. Morality. What is it called? Immortality. There it is. Immortal. Stay in the game. And, when he die out, his name is still, resonate with the fans and just in boxing in general. And he's on the course of that, man. But just judging upon Triple G's last performance and just see him slowly deteriorating, late in fights and getting hit more often. I think Canelo's on a different level, and I think that Canelo just has his number now. He knows what he has to do. He has to pressure him, put him on his back foot, avoid the jab, counterpunch, go to his body, just as he did before. The weakness is still there, no doubt about it.
Honestly, I see Canelo winning. I think that fight just is past its time. I think we're just looking for a big fight. The fans want to see something big, and they brought that fight back, but I don't think the fight going to be as exciting as everybody expected. I think Canelo will win in Canelo fashion. Canelo is a hell of a fighter. I think Triple G a little older now. I think, he still got good power, but it ain't the same, and I just think Canelo will win the fight.
I think Canelo won the first time.
Oh, whoa, you thought he won the first time?
Yeah, 7-5, unpopular opinion, I know. I thought he did way better second time, and he won for sure. And the third time, if they fight, I'm a golovkin fan, Beautiful jab, beautiful everything, literally. I mean, dude, his placement's really good. It's just, I think he's too old. Yeah.
But maybe we could see, maybe he's a guy that, regardless how old he is, just gives Canelo problems.
No, he's not the same.
They had two very close fights, A lot of people thought Triple G won the first fight. Canelo won the second, but it was still very close. So it's like a trilogy, where Triple G could have won the first one, then Canelo wins, so now they have to do a third one, Maybe people are maybe saying it's a little bit too late, because Triple G's already, close to 40 maybe. But Triple G's Triple G, man. He still got the power. Plus, Canelo's last performance wasn't the best of his performances, so people could actually think that's it's a very winnable fight for Triple G. It's a very, very good fight. I think it's a fight that's gonna do really good when it comes to numbers. People are gonna tune in. I think it's gonna be a great fight. I think Canelo wins this time a little bit a little more clear, but it's still a very interesting fight. Probably what Canelo is going to aim for, to win by knockout, to make a real statement. But Triple G is solid, man. Triple G is a real deal, so it won't be easy. But I wouldn't be surprised either if Canelo does win by knockout. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be another one of those great fights, very close. But at the end, Canelo could break him down with body shots and maybe stop him at the end.
Fight should have happened immediately. Look, I never cared how De La Hoya handled that situation. The first fight was very controversial. We know how controversial. So what do? Let's run it back. You couldn't make no more better money against anybody else. Run it back. After the second fight, it still was. There was a lot of people thought that Triple G won that fight, even though more people thought Canelo won that fight than they did certainly the first fight, and it was closer. There was still a lot of controversy. What do? Run it back again. That's what they did in the old days. You run it back. When the old days, when there's such an exciting, close fight, you do the trilogy, man. You bring it right back. But De La Hoya he tried to hold Triple G off, and when it backfired on him. Because I'll tell you what, Canelo should never let him do that. It should never. Even, I have a lot of Mexican friends. Even Mexicans were like said, man, they were talking bad about Canelo because they thought he should have went right back in there with him. And I kept telling them, it's not him, it's the promoter. He's trying to hold him off and letting the guy get older. But that's the fight that should be made. At this point, who cares? Who gives a shit? I don't, at this point, Canelo's fought so many much bigger fights that at this fight, I love Triple G, but I wouldn't want, at this fight, it really does. I don't think he can beat him. I thought back then, I thought he won the first fight. Second fight was questionable, and I thought, well, run it back a third time. But now, so much time is going in between. Canelo's had much more. He's had better quality fights that I don't know if anybody even cares now. I really don't.
Why do you think Canelo chose the Triple G fight instead of the Bivol rematch straight away?
Why? Because it's an easier fight for him. If he fights Dimitri Bivol again, he'll lose again. Business-wise, is not a good move for Canelo. So, business-wise, he needed to go around and fight Triple G. Now that Triple G, aged a little more, and on this third fight, he'll shine, he'll look good, and bring his name back up again, and Canelo's still the king of the division.
Do you think Canelo will get that third a victory over Triple G in that third fight?
Yeah, Canelo will definitely win. I have no doubt in my mind because, Canelo's still in his prime. Triple G already has a loss in his record. He hasn't been looking great in his last fights. And obviously age is a big factor. So I think that Canelo should win, and he should win decisive on this one.
I think Canelo beats him. I don't see anyone beating Canelo personally. I think it'll be an interesting match early, but as what Canelo does, he gets them down the stretch and he gets them out of there. He might see the bell, but he might not. I don't see how he takes body punches, and I don't think he's been punched by anyone like Canelo. You know what I mean? But Canelo's going to do his business in there. I can't see him beating him.
So right now, Canelo's in his prime. Basically, what you're saying,
his prime,
can't be beat.
Too strong, too sharp, and just living this thing. So I see him winning.
Hypothetically speaking, as everything goes as planned, Canelo should face Triple G.
I don't want to see that fight. I was just saying to that kid, I think he's going to hurt Golovkin. I think he stops him. No, he fought that Japanese kid. He was taking a lot of punishment in that fight. He don't got no business going in the ring with Canelo.
Could it
at 40 years of age.
Could it be due to various situations, possibly maybe the altitude, maybe being part of that, not fighting continuously?
Yeah, obviously, ring time is key, but he needs to have he knows, and in his body, he'll know when you reach 40, listen, man, it's a hard milestone. I'm a lot older than him, but it is hard.
You don't.
Yeah, but it is hard when you get to that kind of age. You start to feel a lot of stuff you didn't feel as a younger person. But he's a hell of an athlete. But on that performance, I just feel he's going to get hurt if he does that fight.
No, man, listen. This is the thing about these 40-year-old guys. If you get in the ring, it's on you for whatever happens to you. Because you obviously have to convince somebody or something. Be mad at the promoters, be mad at his management, be mad at his wife or his family for him getting in the ring. That's on him. So listen, you can't Canelo beat the guy who you put in front of him. That's what it's all about. If that be the case. You can't. He's 40, he's still fighting. Why? That's the question. Why are you still fighting? Why is your manager still negotiating for you to fight a fight if you're 40 years old and that you really need something? So you can't be mad at Canelo for taking care of doing what he needs to do. Hey man, all you did was reword the question to try to give you. All I'm saying is we'll see, man. Canelo's gonna beat him. I believe in Canelo. I believe he's gonna beat him. And I'm not saying anything, but I think he's gonna win. I really do think he's gonna win, as he should. But he's faster than Triple G. He really is. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Does he need a knockout, Canelo?
Yeah, he should. He should knock him out, without a doubt.
Last one.
I don't think he needs to be able to find somebody to beat after he just lost to the other guy. So, yeah.
It's a fight that it's a little late in the making, but I think it needed to happen. It would be silly to leave the money on the table for these two guys. It's still an interesting fight. I said it even before the Bivol fight, because I had a good idea that Bivol was actually going to beat Canelo that night, and he did. But I said even then, I was like, even if he does, it doesn't matter. The fight can still happen. Canelo took a big risk. He went up in weight, fought a very young champion, undefeated. He loses, but really he goes back to his real weight class, his true weight class, to fight Triple G. Now the question for me really is the weight. I'm curious about Triple G at 68. He's never fought at 68, and so he's moving up to fight Canelo for his undisputed titles. The age plus the weight, it could be a lot of questions for Triple G, and a lot to step up to.
I spoke with Eddie Hearn yesterday, and he gave a bold prediction. He said this is not going past 12 rounds. This is going to be a knockout. Are you expecting the same?
I would agree. I think that an exclamation point needs to be put on the trilogy, and yeah, I could see that too. But I mean, both these guys have two of the best chins in boxing, literally, the two of them. We'll see, but I could see it ending in a stoppage.
There's a lot of, I guess, I feel like there's more pressure on Canelo. I don't know if you disagree or agree or disagree with me on this, but like I said, there has to be an exclamation for this fight. But I feel like Canelo, if he beats him, well, he should have beat him. Yeah. He had to beat him.
I agree.
If he knocks him out, well, Triple G was old. But if he loses, there's more at stake for Canelo. What is it? It's a high risk, low reward fight for Canelo. I don't know, what do you think about that also?
High risk, sure, not low reward because there's a lot of money involved. So, you know, we are prize fighters, so we get paid for this stuff. So I wouldn't say low reward, but definitely high risk. High risk. He has a lot to lose, you're right.
He's going to be one of those fighters that has Canelo's card, so I don't think he's going to get mopped like that, like how everybody's saying. But, I mean, that's for those men to figure it out. It's going to be a great fight. You know, I'm definitely going to be on Golovkin's side, you know, either no matter what. So I mean,
you're rooting for Golovkin against Canelo.
Rooting for Golovkin. Golovkin's one of my favorite fighters. He's one of my favorite people in person. You know, he's a good guy, so I'm always gonna be supporting him.
And if you ask me personally what I think, and if you want to hear it without filters, it's like, what for? I mean, it's been 4 years already. You waited for they waited for him to get old. What for? Now, I mean, the only thing that's gonna happen is Canelo's gonna go over there and put a beating on Golovkin. 40 years old already. He's 40 years old. I mean, they should have done it maybe earlier, as soon as maybe 1 year after the last one, not 4 or 5 years later, you know? Because now it's like they created a monster in Canelo, and they let Golovkin get old at this point. I mean, when he fought Deverenchenko in New York, I was there. I honestly thought he lost. Yeah, if you ask me, I'll tell you straight up. I thought Triple G lost that fight.
I thought he won. By a point, though. By 1 point.
One point. Yeah. Okay.
Because of knockdown, he knocked him down.
Okay. By that point.
But it was close. It was really, really close.
You're talking about a Triple G and a Deverenchenko 1 point.
Yeah, Deverenchenko's good, though.
Yeah, he is, but where's he at? He's not a Canelo level.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Exactly. You know, Triple G and Canelo are another level. And to fight a guy, Deverenchenko, that is good, but he's not at that level, and you're close fight maybe with 1 point, that says a lot. So, with that being said, it's like, okay, you know, he sort of like, you know, let loose. And then fighters, when they're undefeated, they don't want to lose that right?
It's like a pride thing, right?
It's a pride thing. Yeah. It's a pride thing. And once they lose it, it's like, okay, whatever. You know? Now it's like, okay, give me $10 million and I'll fight you. If I lose, so what? I got $10 million. You know, it's a mentality. So why wait 4 more years to do another fight with Canelo? Canelo's still young. He's still in his prime. While Triple G is already getting old. I mean, Triple G, even though he's old, he's still in the business. He's strong and stuff. But, I mean, 4 years is 4 years. You know, 4 years is 4 years. 40, at the age of 40, I mean, a lot of wear and tear. All this takes a lot out of you. I just don't see it. But for some people, for the average fan, it's a good fight. Why? Because the first one was in doubt, and the second one's in doubt. So now what they want to see is a final fight to just make it final. And what's going to happen? Canelo's going to beat on Triple G bad, and that's it. People will be happy. Yeah, you know, that's what you wanted. There it is. But they don't see that it's been 4 years. I mean, Triple G aged, and that's the way it is.
Oh, I mean, this is a trilogy, so, I mean, honestly, I thought Triple G won the first one. I thought Canelo won the second one. And this is the third one. I think Triple G is going to get him. Just my thought. I think Triple G got a lot to prove. I think that he's, you know, there's going to be a lot of anger built up into this fight. They both don't like each other. And I think that, I think Triple G's going to get it this time.
And excuse my reaction, it's not a disagreement reaction. It is one of surprise because I've asked this question so many times this summer, and you're probably only the third person that's picked Triple G. What is it about Triple G, Canelo Part 3, or in particular Triple G, that you think he will not let Canelo walk over him this time?
I mean, I think Triple G could take a lot from the Bivol fight. I think he could take a lot from the Bivol fight. If you look at the Bivol fight and watch that fight, I think you'll get to see some of the mistakes and some of the errors that Canelo makes. I mean, I think Triple G, everybody knows he's a big puncher. He probably punches just as hard as Bivol does. I mean, so I just think Triple G has a lot to prove, and I think that he's gonna come fully prepared for this fight. And I think he's gonna get the victory this time.
The Golovkin that stalks you down and keeps you in the corner and punishes you to the body, like we haven't seen the body punches from Gennady. Even in those 2 Canelo fights, he didn't throw a lot of body punches. Why do you think this transition into the boxer happened with Gennady?
You know, obviously, I don't know. I'd have to be guessing. I'm thinking that all the rhetoric, all the media talking about, oh, he's just a puncher, he's just a big banger, he can't box. Listen, he can box, but his forte is his strength is his strength. And I'm not talking about how strong he is. I'm talking about his strength is just his mind is so strong, his body is so strong. So he starts to hunt you down. You're a different fighter. When you allow somebody to think, they become a different fighter. So I think that in the Canelo fight, in the first one, I think he fought like I wanted him to fight. In the second fight, he wanted to be a boxer. He thought he could jab his way to a win. And when, in my opinion, when a judge sees you backing up, when he normally sees you going forward, he's got to think that you're behind, you're getting hit. I don't know if it was the 3rd or 4th round. If you play back the tape, if you can hear me, I keep saying to him, you can't box this guy. You got to fight this guy. You can't box him. You got to fight him. And I think that he wanted to prove to everybody that he could box. And in the last, I haven't seen the whole fights, but I've seen his face after the fights. Last 3 or 4 fights, his face got more punishment on it than he did in his whole career with me. And it's not because he's got a bad coach. He's got a very good coach. It's just that he's trying to do things that it's not him.
Some people have suggested it's not even that. It's just that he's getting older.
No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that because if he was going forward and stalking somebody and throwing punches like he used to, and he was still getting hit like that, then I would agree with you. But when he's boxing, when he's trying to throw 5-6 punch combinations and nice little jab, he boxes brilliantly. But at that level, his strength is his strength. His strength is talking you down and making you think that he's going to kill you.
You know, after the second fight, did he tell you why he chose to try to box? Like, I know you mentioned like that you're guessing that he wanted to show that he could win the fight by boxing, but did you ask him like, yo, like, why'd you do this?
No, after the fight's over. I mean, the decision is rendered and the fight's over. We learn from the mistakes and they learn from the mistakes. You come back to the gym and you go to work. We never got a chance to come back to the gym and go to work. So no, there's no discussion about it, but he threw some brilliant jabs though. He had some great jabs in that fight, but that doesn't win you the fight.
You know, that's I guess that opened up a bigger question too, like because Teddy Atlas like flipped out over the first fight, and even the second fight. I noticed with my time judging fights with Fox that a lot of these judges don't give credit to jabs, and they I don't know if they can't tell the difference between a regular ineffective jab and a power jab that causes damage. Like Gennady's jabs are power jabs. They're like power punches.
Well, look, in the first fight, we had the unfortunate blind judge that had it 118-110. In the second fight, we got a judge that's supposed to be one of the best judges in the country, judged the 7th round, which was probably Gennady's strongest round, and gave it to Canelo. So I'm not going to say the cards were stacked against us, but for some reason, Las Vegas always has a way of protecting the fighter that's is going to bring more money in, like it was with Julio, like it was with Floyd, like it was with Mike, like it is with Canelo. And listen, I believe we won both fights, but that's why we have 3 judges. They decided we didn't. But I still say that when a judge sees you for 23 or 20 fights being the aggressor, being the stalker, being the bomber, being throwing shots like you don't care, like I'm saying about Canelo, and then Golovkin all of a sudden becomes a boxer and his back foot and is backing up, and yeah, he's throwing a good jab, but he's getting hit with shots that he normally doesn't get hit. Why? Because he's boxing. It gives Canelo no fear, no restraint. So yeah. Then the judge is going to say, "Wow, he must be losing the fight. He must be, the other guy is more aggressive. The guy is coming forward. So I think that had a lot to do with the scoring. I wish they hadn't done that, but we didn't have time to discuss it.
I think this third fight, given that they know each other so much, so well, that they've shared 24 rounds with each other, that they both can't stand each other, and there's really real animosity there, that we're going to get a great third fight that regardless of how Gennady's looked in these last two fights, he'll get up for this. He'll do really well in this fight.
I would love to say that your assumption is correct, but what has been happening in the gym and what he's been doing to prepare for fights and how he's approaching the fight. I'm not saying he's not in shape. I'm sure he's in great shape. Like I said, he's got a good coach, but I think that him trying to be a boxer, him trying to be a technician will play right into Canelo's hands.
Oh, wow. So then what happens?
I think that just like Derevchenko did to us in the fight where Canelo looked after Derevchenko fight, and I think that is a possibility. Only because, again, he's going to try to box and he's not going to give himself the opportunity to beat Gennady.
Bueno, es una pelea que yo veo 50-50.
It's a fight I can watch it a 50-50.
Porque Canelo quiere estar otra vez nuevamente en los libra por libra.
Because Canelo wants to be in the pound again.
Y pues de su parte de Triple G viene muy motivado en ganarle a Murata en sus tierras.
And then Triple G is very motivated after he beat Murata in his hometown in Japan.
Pero creo que sin duda va a ganar Canelo por nocaut en el 9º o 10º round.
But definitely I can feel that Canelo's going to knock him out by the 9th or 10th round to the latest.
Does he feel that because Canelo is just, strong right now, he's really in his prime, and Golovkin's gotten a little bit older, or do you think there's other reasons why?
¿Tú piensas que la razón de que porque se está en su mero momento de Saúl o porque es ya la decadencia de Triple G? Por esa predicción.
No, totalmente. Ahora sí que no porque Triple G tenga 40 años quiere decir que ya está viejo.
No, not because Triple G is been fighting because he's old. I mean, they fought 48 rounds already.
Y porque Canelo no, porque sea más joven quiere decir que va a ganar. Nada está escrito aquí en el boxeo.
No, there's nothing right than in boxing. Not because he's younger, he's going to win because anything can happen.
Y bueno, el que vaya mejor preparado es el que va a ganar.
And the well-prepared fighter is going to win. Don't forget, like George Foreman. Remember when I beat Michael Moore?
That's true.
I mean, that's boxing,
Golovkin can still hit.
Yeah, right. He can be either way.
But a lot of people think because of the second fight that Canelo just knows how to beat Golovkin.
Right, he got 48 rounds.
Yeah.
Después de que la segunda pelea ganó ya 48 rounds que han peleado, ya se conocen mejor.
Sí, totalmente. Ahora sí que se fueron conociendo y ahorita ya saben a lo que se van a enfrentar cada quien.
They know what's going on in the business. They know the business very well, and they know each other what's coming up front.
Para el boxeo, creo yo que Golovkin pues no está en su mero apogeo, ¿no? Ahorita, pero realmente pues va a ser una buena pelea porque Golovkin pues trae experiencia, ¿no? Pero realmente creo yo que si Canelo se vio bien en su segunda pelea, yo creo que en esta pelea se puede ver mejor. Lo único que yo digo que no debemos hacer planes antes de cualquier compromiso, ¿no? Que tenga, porque uno no sabe, solamente Dios lo sabe, pero realmente digo, le deseo la mejor de la suerte como quiera sea.
How do you feel about Gennady? He said that he has a lot of Mexican fans and you don't have any fans in Kazakhstan.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm focused on what I have. No, I don't need anything more. If I have it, it's okay. If I don't have it, it's okay.
Is that what
good?
Is that what you meant by it was personal with him? Because he will say that kind of stuff, and now when he's in front of you, he doesn't.
Yeah, he always tries to in front of the cameras. He tries to pretend to be a nice person, but he's not. That's why I tell him.
Yeah.
Tell me now. Why you tell in other places and not now?
Yeah.